Hello and welcome to Business Corner. Today we're going to meet Andrew Keogh. Andrew is former president of the Professional Speakers Association and he's also founder of Aristo. Good afternoon, Andrew. How are you?
I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you very much. Andrew, explain your business to the audience. What exactly do you do? How do you help people?
Okay, well, probably at its simplest is what I want people to do is when they're standing or sitting in front of a group, whether it be 1, 5, 50 or 500 people, I want them to have a conversation and I want them to make it enjoyable for themselves and for the audience. That's what I want to do more than anything else.
So an incredibly valuable thing, especially in this day and age where networking is unbelievably important part of growing your business.
Absolutely.
So can you give us a few tips, Andrew? Let's take the elevator pitch. This famous elevator pitch where you go in, you meet somebody for a minute or so and you've got to convince them in that minute. So what would you say to somebody who's putting something like that together?
First and foremost, I would say is that what I see with elevator pitches is people get in front of you and they blurt out what they do. And they don't take time to draw breath. They just want to tell you what it is. And that isn't a conversation. A conversation is where you engage with the person and you say what is it you do? And when you find out what they do, then you can put emphasis on what you do that may be beneficial or may be helpful to them. So it's never to have that just blurted all out. It always, whether it's 1 minute or whether it's an hour, it should always be a conversation. And the thing at the end of the elevator pitch, the message you've got to get across. So as a result of this conversation, let me tell you how you're going to be better as a result of dealing with my company or my business. And that's what you need to say. And to give you an example of that, and the company who used the strapline some years ago was Snap. And Snap's strapline was, we make you look good. Now that very clearly and very simply says how you're going to be better as a result of dealing with them. Our strapline for the company is connect to grow. And what we do is we give people the confidence to make a connection. When they make a connection, they build relationships. When they build relationships, they create trust. And when you create trust, then you grow your business. You wouldn't knowingly deal with anyone who you didn't trust.
Sure.
And so that's what our business is about. So it's to have the confidence.
Especially in this anonymous world where we've got millions of websites out there, and it's very hard to know.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So, and if almost presenting is like going on a blind date. If you go on a blind date and the person opposite you spends the whole evening talking about themselves, you're not going to be terribly interested. You need someone who's saying, and tell me about you, and tell me what your issues are, and tell me what your problems are, and tell me what your concerns are. And that way it becomes engaging. You can do exactly the same, whether it be an audience of 500, by simply doing things that presenters would do. Arrive early, talk to some people in the audience, make connection with them, get to know the name, and mention them when you're on the stage and engage them, and simply say things like, when I was here, I was talking to Rose, I was talking to Mary, and this is what...
I can see how that would be very
work well.
Powerful,
and if you look at comedians, you look at Darryl Bryn, for example, that's exactly what he does. He's talking to an audience of 8,000, but he talks to 3 or 4 people in the front row, and therefore connects with the whole audience. And that's what it's about.
And what would you say to the guy or the lady who feels very intimidated by these situations? I mean, how do they get over that?
Well, in reality, everybody does. And I've been doing this now for 20 years. And if I go and stand in front of a strange audience and I'm not fully happy with what I'm going to say, my heart will pound just the same as anybody else's. So it's about being prepared. It's about being comfortable with what you're saying. And it's about thinking about having a conversation with people. You could quite easily do it over a pint or over a cup of coffee. And I'm saying is just have that same thought process. Stop lecturing, stop preaching, stop sermonizing, stop doing pitches, stop doing presentations. Have a conversation. Engage with people.
And just to finish up now, on your website, I believe Aristo, isn't it? Aristo.ie?
Yes. Aristo.ie. Yes.
Aristo.ie. You have a downloadable set of tips for people?
There's a free communication tips booklet which gives all the tips that all good presenters should use about how to open a conversation, how to close a conversation, how to fill in the bits in between, and how to deal with, which is probably the most valuable bit of all, how to deal with questions and answers at the end. And that's variable. You can just go on the website, download it.
And if somebody wanted to get trained, can they give you a ring?
Yeah, they can give me a ring. And the simplest thing to do is ring me on my private line, because often people are a bit shy about doing this. So simply ring me on 087 256 9241.
Andrew, you've been a charming guest. Thank you very much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.